Hi, 8th graders. This is Mrs. Painter, and this is Unit 2, Lesson 2. And today I'll be teaching you about solving inequalities using multiplication and division. We also call these like one-step inequalities or just simple inequalities. So let's go ahead and get started. But specifically, I'm going to be showing you some examples that use multiplication and division and how we solve when we're working with those. If you want to pause the video and take a second just to read through this slide, it's probably a good idea. But basically what it's saying, and I'm not going to read it word for word, but what it's saying is that in order to solve an equality by multiplying or dividing each side, as long as the multiplication or division is a positive number, then we're pretty much going to use the same routine that we would have used during solving an equation. So the first half of the examples today that we're going to do are going to all be either dividing or multiplying with a positive number, so that you can see how this works. And you're going to notice that it's very similar to what we've been doing for Unit 1. So for example 1a, we have dividing by a positive number. If you take a look at x, you'll notice that x is being divided by a positive 8. So if we are going to be isolating that variable of x, we're going to want to think about what do we want to do to get x all by itself. And in this case, it's being divided by 8. So in order to get that isolated, we would need to use an inverse operation, which is the opposite of divide by 8 would be to multiply by 8. So I'm going to multiply by 8 over 1. And because this would be an equation, if I do that on one side, I'm going to need to do it to the other. So that cancels out our 8s and leaves us with just x on this side. And then I do want to look right here at what our symbol was. It was greater than. Then over here, I need to do negative 5 times 8. So a negative times a positive makes a negative answer. And then 5 times 8 is 40. So this inequality reads x is greater than negative 40. And now to graph that, we want to come over to our graph. And we just want to choose a point. And we want to label what that point is. So this point we're going to call negative 40. Pretty messy. And then because this does not have an or equals to sign, we're going to leave that as an open circle. And I'm going to do this in a different color. So we'll do an open circle at negative 40. And then it's going to be anything greater than negative 40. So negative 39, negative 36, 30, 20, and over 0, continuing all the way to infinity. So our graph would look like this. Now for the last part of this example, I would like for you to try this part on your own. Notice that this x is being divided by a positive 4, so you'll use the exact same steps that we just used in example 1a.